A Mortal's Journey to Immortality Episode 301. In the previous episode, Han Li uncovered the painful truth behind Shen Chaoqin's shattered past, stirring emotions he could no longer ignore. Leaving the Chen clan siblings behind, he journeyed alone toward the myriad Link Mountains, a place filled with danger and the looming threat of Devilfall Valley. Along the way, he briefly visited a crude market city to gather rare materials, then carved out a hidden cave deep inside the miasma-filled forest to prepare for what lay ahead. There, he examined two powerful core formation puppet designs, one a massive tortoise built for defense and long-range assaults, the other a swift tiger crafted for deadly close combat. At the end of the previous episode, Han Li sat inside his secret chamber, surrounded by piles of rare materials, and began summoning the first piece needed to forge his new creations. What will happen next? Stay tuned. And the story continues. The door to Han Li's hidden room wasn't opened for several months. During this time, Silvermoon quietly monitored the events outside, ensuring that Han Li would not miss his opportunity to enter Devilfall Valley. Over these months, the miasma surrounding the myriad Link Mountains gradually grew thinner, signaling that the time for the next great treasure hunt was approaching. Cultivators from across the region began gathering near the mountains, and many of them concentrated in a particular area of Birchleaf City, the closest city to the fabled Devilfall Valley. Those fortunate enough to possess a Devilfall Medallion had established temporary cave dwellings nearby, patiently waiting for the day they could venture into the valley itself. Han Li's own cave residence, while hidden and guarded by a restrictive spell formation, was not a top-grade barrier. Several cultivators had discovered his location, and a few had even attempted to pay him visits. Messages sent through sound transmission talismans arrived at his residence, but Han Li never replied to a single one. Some cultivators were irritated, feeling slighted, yet none dared to act rashly. The identity of the residence's master was unknown, and in such a dangerous environment, creating a powerful enemy was not a risk anyone wished to take. Most cultivators were cautious, even those who were proud or arrogant. Entering Devilfall Valley alone was perilous, and as such, groups of 2 to 5, or small collectives of friends, were common. While grouping together offered little advantage for finding treasures, it significantly improved survival odds against the unpredictable dangers of the valley. Even the more reclusive and solitary cultivators, known for avoiding others, felt compelled to seek companionship. Meanwhile, Silvermoon considered whether it was time to inform Han Li that the conditions outside were favorable. Before she could act, however, the door of his hidden room silently opened, and Han Li calmly stepped out. In the months he spent in seclusion, Han Li had been refining puppets tirelessly. Over 30 had been completed, split evenly between tortoise and tiger types. The success of his work relied heavily on the high-grade demon beast souls he had harvested during his journeys in the scattered star seas. Without these rare and powerful components, even an abundance of ordinary materials would have been useless. The monarch of soul divergence, observing Han Li's steady progress in refining his personal puppet designs, had remarked in awe, calling him a young monster. Han Li, however, continued without acknowledgement, fully focused on the task at hand. Though he still possessed enough materials to craft more puppets, he decided not to. Time was limited, and a few additional puppets would not substantially increase his strength. After exiting the hidden room, Han Li only nodded toward Silvermoon in acknowledgement of her continuous reports but remained silent. He then proceeded to a dark chamber where the sovereign devil corpse was kept. Inspecting it meticulously, satisfied with its condition, he withdrew the corpse and placed Silvermoon within his sleeve once again before leaving the cave entirely. Han Li ascended to the peak of the mountain above his residence, seated himself in a cross-legged position, and extended his spiritual sense. He carefully scanned the surrounding area, covering the nearby cave dwellings of other cultivators within a radius of 50 kilometers. His power was such that even early nascent soul cultivators could not detect his observation unless they were exceptionally attentive. Despite the meticulous sweep, he did not locate the person he was searching for. After a brief pause, Han Li's body glowed with spiritual light, and he swiftly flew toward the nearest market city. expecting it to have flourished in his absence. This market city had been established by a large cultivator clan from the state of Dongyu and had operated for generations with indifference to the events in Devilfall Valley. The influx of high-grade cultivators had stimulated the local economy, and even ordinary cultivators had taken advantage of the thinning miasma, harvesting exposed resources for profit without entering the valley at all. Inside a modest medicine shop, a pair of white-clothed cultivators carefully examined a rare herb. After some discussion with the shopkeeper, they agreed on a price and handed over a pile of spirit stones. The female cultivator's eyes sparkled with delight, knowing she could finally begin refining the breath refinement pill. She thanked the youth beside her, Bai Shujun, who had lent her the spirit stones, enabling the purchase. He smiled warmly, saying that her success was also his responsibility, and that a few spirit stones were a small price to pay. Despite some minor regret over the expense, his expression showed complete adoration and devotion. Suddenly, a figure appeared in their path. A streak of yellow light shot through the air, and Bai Shujun instinctively intercepted it. The object was a glowing yellow command medallion. Recognizing it immediately, Bai Shujun's eyes widened in shock and alarm. It was the Heaven Peak Writ, and standing before him was Senior Han Li himself. In an authoritative tone, Han Li demanded to see Bai Shujun's master. Though once careless and impudent, Bai Shujun now realized the magnitude of the cultivator before him. Quickly acknowledging his previous mistakes, he agreed to lead Han Li to his master, hoping to improve his standing in Han Li's eyes. The young woman by his side observed silently, her expression a mixture of astonishment and respect. As a descendant of Elder Lu, she knew better than to act rashly in Han Li's presence. The three departed the market city and flew eastward for more than 15 minutes. Eventually arriving at a small, secluded mountain within the myriad Link Mountains. Despite its modest size, the mountain was cleverly hidden behind taller peaks, making it nearly invisible to casual observers. Han Li activated his bright sight spirit eyes and scrutinized the mountain's interior, his expression thoughtful and contemplative. Bai Shujun retrieved a sound transmission talisman from his robes and cast it against the mountain wall. The talisman struck the stone, releasing ripples of light before disappearing. Bai Shujun explained that this was his master's temporary residence, shielded by a minor Zumi restriction. Only in urgent matters could disciples seek entry, and even junior martial sister Lu was forbidden from visiting without explicit permission. Recognizing the importance of Han Li's visit, Bai Shujun assured him that his master would receive him. Han Li glanced at the young woman and casually inquired about her family. She confirmed that she was a descendant of Elder Lu and spoke of Han Li's fame. Expressing admiration while remaining respectful, Han Li offered a faint smile but made no further comment. Then, the stone wall before them shimmered with azure light, revealing a 6-meter-wide gate. A leisurely, welcoming voice echoed from within, inviting Han Li to enter the main hall. Without hesitation, Han Li stepped through. Bai Shujun and the young woman hesitated but remained outside as their master instructed them to attend to their own matters. Though slightly surprised by the directive, they respectfully acknowledged it and departed. Once Han Li entered the stone gates, the gates disappeared in a flash of azure light, restoring its original appearance as a stone wall. In this episode, we saw Han Li emerge from months of seclusion, having refined over 30 powerful puppets with high-grade demon beast souls. He carefully observed the surrounding cultivators and sensed the growing activity near Devilfall Valley. Realizing it was time to find someone important, he flew to the nearby market city, swiftly locating Bai Shujun and learning the whereabouts of his master. With a commanding presence, Han Li demanded to see his master, and under Bai Shujun's guidance, he arrived at the well-hidden mountain residence, finally entering through the stone gates that opened only for him. What happens next? Stay tuned for the next episode of Immortal's journey to immortality. If you enjoyed this episode or found it interesting, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel to receive the latest updates on Han Li's journey. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you again in the next video.